Okay, guys, so we have a fresh article here from People magazine, and I haven't read this one yet, and we're gonna read this one together because I tend to try to do these updates the best I can. This came out on June 25th, so this is pretty recent. Gypsy Rose Blanchard explains why she and boyfriend Ken Urker will be using IVF treatments for baby number 2. Oh boy, just what we need. More procreation from the Gypsy bloodline. Hooray, how exciting. The 33-year-old welcomed her daughter Aurora earlier this year with Urker. Boy, she's just on a roll, isn't she? Trying to rush into, more procreation as much as she can, trying to hold Ken down with a vengeance, it seems. All right, well, moving on. Moving right along. The 33-year-old appeared on Tori Spelling's podcast, Misspelling, and was asked by the Beverly Hills 90210 star if she'd ever consider having another baby. Blanchard, who welcomed her daughter Aurora earlier this year with boyfriend Ken Urker, said that she does, but she wouldn't conceive without vitro fertilization or IVF treatments this time around. Okay, that's not uncommon. I do, but this is her quoting her, I do, but we will have to use IVF for our next one because the one medical condition that I actually do have, it's called microdeletion, 1Q21.1, she explains. Yeah, and if anyone's ever looked at the FOIA documents, which includes the medical documents, they will see that all the procedures that she got when she was younger were very much needed. So this whole narrative about she had all these surgeries and all these medical procedures that were unnecessary and forced onto her by mother, again, I'm in the medical field. Doctors do not operate on anyone because a charismatic mother tells them to. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. In fact, most people have trouble getting procedures done because it has to go through several sectors of the medical community and through your insurance company as well, and through other adjusters and their private physicians to overlook it and approve it and have to oversee the diagnosis. So there's no possible way in case this is the first time someone hearing this, that Gypsy could have gotten all these procedures done and it wasn't warranted. So I'm surprised people actually bought this mainstream media narrative, especially people that are in the medical field, which there's a lot of us, and was like, yeah, that totally would happen in the medical field. Absurd. It's crazy people actually believe that. But anyways, it goes on. So it's just a long word for I'm missing a small piece in each of my first chromosomes. Okay, I guess in short, that kind of describes it. It's actually it's a lot more elaborate than that, but we'll just stick with that for now. Anyways, moving on. And she goes on, that is something that could potentially be passed down to every child that I have. Every child that I have has a 50-50 shot of having it, Blanchard says. Aurora has been tested and she came back negative, thank God. So it was not passed to her, but as a preventative measure, we will go through IVF for our next one. I can't disagree with her on that, but I do disagree with her continuing to procreate, especially at the pace that she's going. It's like her baby is not even a half a year old. I mean, maybe she's close to that. I don't know. Wasn't the baby born in December, I believe it was December, yeah. But anyways, it's just like she is in a rush to hold Ken down as much as possible, so she's trying to pop him out like an assembly line at this point. So she keeps going, or the article does. Spelling then asked Blanchard if she wants a boy now that she has her daughter. She says, we do want a boy. 1 boy and 1 girl, Blanchard says. Probably just 2. I say that now. You never know what the future holds, but just 2 for now on the horizon. According to the National Institute of Health, microdeletion 1Q21.1 is a chromosomal change in which a small piece it basically goes on to explain what that is. If you want to read about that, I suggest actually reading the medicinal definition and reading from the actual medical literature than People magazine. Just saying. But no, like I said, everything that Gypsy actually did medically go through was due to her microdeletion diagnosis. Anyways, moving on. Okay, and basically, it does continue with the description. A chromosomal change in which a small piece of chromosome 1 is deleted in each cell. The change can increase the risk of delayed development, intellectual disability, physical abnormalities, and neurological and psychiatric problems. And one of the conditions that Gypsy was diagnosed with was failure to thrive, and this was what I 100% due to this. So a lot of those the feeding tube and a lot of the earlier treatments that she had as a child was due to failure to thrive, and that usually happens in infant to toddler years. So, you know what I mean? Anytime she says she had all these horrific things done to her when she was a child, no, it was warranted because, microdeletion is no small cookie. There's actually a lot of elaborate forms of it. It's not something it's like a one size fits all or one size cures all kind of thing. It's kind of why she has that kind of wonky eye thing going on a little bit too. But anyways, she just basically took that one diagnosis and tried to spiral it into a million other things to grift with her mom and to continue the victim narrative and to make people falsely believe that she was receiving treatments and surgeries and medications that were not necessary, even though all the medical documents that they themselves put out there basically say otherwise. So once again, anyone that still believes that she was medically ABUSE'd, you're just wrong at this point. At this point, even she herself is listing the condition that she had and the one that warranted the procedures she actually did go through. But we're going to keep going. Back in April, the new mom first shared on Instagram that Aurora tested negative for microdeletion, which is good, which Blanchard was first diagnosed with in 2012. Great news about Aurora. We're overjoyed to share that our sweet girl Aurora has tested negative for the rare condition known as microdeletion 1Q21.1. Blanchard wrote in a statement on it on social media. This result brings us such immense relief and gratitude. Thank you to everyone who's kept us in your thoughts. Your support has meant the world. Again, every time I read even the format of how this is written, especially when it comes to the way she posts this on social media, even as a simple excerpt, it's like ChatGPT did all this stuff. You know what I mean? She would not know how to use this punctuation at all. I know because I'm actually still in the journalism field with the music industry. I use stuff like this all the time. But, there's no way that Gypsy Rose Blanchard, who doesn't know exactly how much school she went through, she told Dr. Phil she didn't experience any school. She told another podcast she went to kindergarten. She told another show host or interview that she went to second grade. I don't know. I guess it depends who you ask. I guess who's doing the asking of the questions. She made it to different, parts of grade school depending on who's asking her and when. So to this day, we don't know how much education she has, but apparently she had no trouble getting that GED on the first try when she went to prison. So obviously she's not completely stupid. And it finishes. In a statement to People at the time, Blanchard shared that she was, quote, so relieved to learn that her daughter didn't inherit her condition. I was tested in 2012 and was positive, and again last year in October, and again came back positive. She told People there was a 50-50 chance that Aurora, could have inherited it, so we got her tested and she came back negative. Therefore, herself and her future children, I guess Blanchard now, won't have to worry about getting the condition that I have. It stops with me. We are so relieved to know that she is healthy and is meeting all of her developmental milestones perfectly, the proud mom added. So basically, the same symptoms that Gypsy might have been exhibiting early on, such as failure to thrive, because again, before they actually knew she had the microdeletion, which is usually found out in like the preteen years or even like not long after the toddler years, failure to thrive is one of the symptoms of a possible microdeletion diagnosis. So that's not all wrong. This is actually a little bit more informative than I thought it would be, and this actually goes against Gypsy's own narrative, because now it's like she's saying, I did have legitimate medical issues. All that stuff, all that medical abuse and all that stuff that I said wasn't necessary, I was perfectly healthy. No, I actually had some problems. It's just like, in a way, she's kind of telling on herself again, but again, no self-awareness. I don't even think she's realizing she's doing it. So, it's just typical Gypsy, just, spewing whatever that comes out of her head and not even realizing that she's contradicting herself yet again. But you want to know what? This is what I love about Gypsy. She delivers the goods herself. She delivers it quicker than Amazon. It's just like it lands right at your page every single day. Everything. I can't believe she actually went on that live stream the night that she got off of parole. Her parole enabled her to the point. I wouldn't be surprised if it was her parole officer that probably bought her all that celebration booze. Just a theory, just a hunch, but you never know. I could be wrong. Maybe not, though. What do you guys think? And that's that. So basically, that's the latest tabloid that's out right now. I'm pretty sure most of that was conjured up by Gypsy herself. I'm not sure exactly where they get all their information from, but again, it's already been revealed, especially through public records and Becca Scoops, that she has these tabloids on speed dial. How much they're compensating her, I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure she's going to be trying to call them with every little tiny thing she does in her life, especially since her demonetization from TikTok, and it takes a period of time to even get monetized on YouTube. And I know this from experience. You need a minimum 90-day wait period because you need a certain amount of watch time and a certain number of subscribers, which I think they met that criteria. I think it's 1,000 now. It used to be 10,000, but they need, I believe, 500,000 hours or 5 million hours of watch time from your subscribers, and it has to be over a 90-day period. So bare minimum 90 days, and they started that I don't call it magic in the chaos, I call it tragic in the chaos. They started that like barely a month ago. And again, this was right during the time she said that she was taking a break from social media. She was gonna detox from it, but nope, as soon as the grift wasn't able to continue on TikTok, she went right to YouTube trying to compensate for it. But anyways, what do you guys think about Gypsy having baby number 2? Is that something that excites you? Me, I don't think she should have brought the first one in along. I'd hate to say something like that, but it's just like, I don't think Gypsy Rose should have been procreating under any circumstance. It's just like, you know what I mean? We don't need any more Gypsy Roses or any of those apples falling close to that tree anytime soon. Sorry to say. And now, if she's already talking about another one, again, we can't get Ken's opinion on this because he's got a non-disclosure agreement. Why he would sign that, I don't know, but they must have had either something on him or gave him some kind of offer he couldn't refuse because, he's not able to basically chime in on any of this. But once that non-disclosure agreement is basically done away with and that contract is over, I'm waiting for a tell-all. I'm waiting for Gypsy to turn on everybody, even including people like Bree and everybody from that little group of people over there that basically harass every content creator that doesn't toe Gypsy's narrative to a T. I'm waiting for Gypsy to turn on them, and then they're going to have all their tell-all books and so on and so forth. I'm probably not going to buy or support any of them because they've done some unforgivable things. But you want to know what? I'd be interested to see what they maybe have in store. I'd maybe something more than just words. I mean, if they have any screenshots or receipts, I would love to see it at some point. But again, maybe that's just my wishful thinking coming into the fold. But anyways, what do you guys think about this little article, and what do you think about Gypsy having baby number 2? In short, I don't think that's a very good idea, but we'll see.